Bitcoin.
How did we know that was coming?
I have to ask the question. I hate the fact I'm asking it, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, Nick, good or bad, indifferent, and why?
Well, look, I guess the question to frame it is Bitcoin, good or bad for whom? Or who? So I think, if you look at what is behind Bitcoin, which is basically a technology, I think it's good, and I'm a big supporter and a big fan, and I think it provides an alternative to whether you think it's a payment system or what have you. But I'm a big fan, and I hope that more people will adopt it, and I think it has a good place. For decades to come, it will become more significant than it is now.
Is that what you want, Nick? Do you want Bitcoin to become adopted, and why is that the case?
Well, if without getting into too much detail, my personal belief is that what we have today as a financial system is fundamentally broken. I mean, I think capitalism is being challenged now in its current form. I mean, of course, capitalism compared to socialism and neo-socialism and liberal agenda, none of those are particularly good. But therefore, capitalism. Supported by a fractional reserve banking model, which I think we all now know is creaking at the seams. And a financial system driven by central banks is unhealthy in my view. And I think that the crypto world has the potential to provide an alternative, but it's nowhere near got the adoption it needs to be an alternative system yet. But it has the potential.
Right. And, a lot of people are anticipating another recession, another economic collapse coming up within the next 1 to 2 years is the general feeling on the internet. Whether that's true or not, when there is another economic collapse, do you think that's going to push the prices of cryptocurrencies up? What are your views?
Look, recession is on its way. I mean, housing is already infected. There's oversupply, overvaluation in most markets. Gold is starting to move, is always an early indicator. So I think it's not, and I think by the end of this year, with the trade wars of China, the sanctions that America are putting on Russia, Turkey, Iran, there is an intensification of some of the signals, including Brexit. And I think by the end of the year, I think you will see, the word recession used, global recession used frequently.
Right.
Now, is the fact that Bitcoin's there as an alternative financial system, I think it will benefit from a global recession. But let's remember, are we at 100 million users, 70 million users? Nobody really knows. If a recession comes, are people going to jump into crypto as a safe haven? Well, some will. Could we get to 500 million users on the back of a recession? I'd like to think so, but it's going to take time. But we need to tell people there's an option, which is crypto. And, people have a different perception, don't they, of crypto, good, bad, and indifferent. So if they know there's something there and we educate them, they will investigate it. If they investigate it, there's a chance that it might come in and use it. But, Dimitri sees the world differently, I think.
I'm going to ask you the same question then, Dimitri. Bitcoin.
Well, I think that Bitcoin is one of the most important inventions of last couple of decades. I agree partially with Nick, especially in part of fractional reserve banking. That's totally valid point. But I have a slightly different view on the main use case of Bitcoin. So I don't think, because basically every currency, every store of value can be either used for payments or for savings. And these are two totally different applications, because what's good for one is bad for the other, and the other way around. And I see Bitcoin, so the main use case for Bitcoin is the sort of digital gold. So it's a reserve currency. It has a potential to become a reserve asset of the world. And that's the main thing. So you don't actually need too big an option for it to become the reality, and you actually don't need too much performance of this network for this to become reality. So I think this is the most. It's a little bit different from what was the idea behind the Bitcoin white paper and stuff. But I think this is the most important use case, and this is happening now. So that's my view on that. And in terms of the adoption, so obviously this will increase, but fundamentally the cryptography is not user-friendly. So that's the main problem, which actually slows down the adoption of Bitcoin. It's actually these private keys is sort of it's a file. It's a long sequence of symbols, and it's very difficult to handle it. And if you lose it, you lose it, and it's not recoverable.
It's a clumsy technology still.
So this is not user friendly. That's the main obstacle to the adoption. But for the purpose of savings, it's totally different use case. So yeah, that's my view on that.
Hi, it's Sean here from the Crypto Wizards YouTube channel. What you've just seen is a snippet of a much longer interview of what it takes behind the scenes to start a cryptocurrency exchange, which is awesome stuff because you won't find this content or information anywhere else online. So there's some really good stuff here you don't want to miss out on. If you are interested in following this journey, if you are interested in algorithmic trading, or you are interested in what it takes to set up fiat gateways, etc., or just want to follow Nick and Dimitri in general as thought leaders in the space, then make sure you find the playlist, Crypto Exchange, the CRIX Journey, here on the Crypto Wizards channel. And we'll see you in the next video.